Namaste yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra and today I'm doing a brand new yin yoga and affirmations practice on the theme of inner peace and guidance. So you guys have really been enjoying my yin and affirmations classes that I have here on YouTube. I have maybe 8 of them currently, so I have 7 of them which go through the chakras, and then I have another one which I think is for self-love and healing, and today is inner peace and guidance. And if you'd like more of these kinds of classes, definitely let me know down below, leave me a comment. But I want to let you know that on June 1st I'll be releasing an exclusive series on my Yoga with Kassandra mobile app, which will have like a full program bundle all about yin yoga and affirmations. So if you want to work more with this, definitely go ahead and get my app. June 1st is when that's going to be out. So for our practice today, just logistically, you are going to want to have one block and we're going to use it right away. I have a little piece of paper here, it just has the affirmations that we're going to be using. And if you've never done these practices before, if you've never really worked with affirmations, it's very simple. All you need to do is when you hear the affirmation, simply repeat it to yourself a few times and without judgment, notice how the affirmation makes you feel. Some of them are going to feel really good, really intuitive. It's going to make you feel awesome when you hear it and repeat it to yourself. So odds are you don't really have a lot of work to do around that theme. You already believe that affirmation to be true. It's just a good, feel-good affirmation that you can turn to when you need a little pick-me-up. Some affirmations might trigger something for you and they might cause a little bit of resistance, and that resistance can show up in terms of your body physically tensing up. You might notice that you roll your eyes, or an internal dialogue will start up in your mind where you'll tell yourself all the reasons why this statement isn't true for you, or you might get really frustrated or uncomfortable. Whatever it is, welcome all of those experiences. What this usually means for the affirmations that are a little bit harder to receive, it might just mean that there's a little bit more work for you to do around those. So it's kind of like a form of shadow work where this is highlighting an aspect of yourself that you have yet to integrate, that you haven't fully healed, and maybe that is pointing out a limiting belief you are still holding on to. So I always recommend that after these practices, you give yourself like a good 20 minutes to journal. So have pen and paper somewhere close by and really write down everything that came up for you, focusing not only on the affirmations that felt good and exploring that, but also really diving into those affirmations that were a little trickier for you and trying to uncover why. So why were those affirmations? Why did they have a little bit of resistance? And just see where that journey takes you. This is really how we take affirmations. This is how we use them as a form of shadow work rather than spiritual bypassing. So it's a tool for personal growth and personal development, and one of my favorite tools for healing and doing the deep inner work. And it works beautifully with yin yoga because as we learn to relax our physical body, it becomes a lot easier to tap into the emotional and to the energetic. Okay, that's enough of an intro. Let's get right ahead into it. Grab your block, supported bridge. So lowering down, you can place the block either on your first or second level, whatever feels the best for you today. I'm just gonna keep it, actually I'll go on the second level for this one, with the knees bent and the feet can just go flat to the ground. So take a few moments just to get settled here in a way that is comfortable for your low back. And we'll have one affirmation per pose. And just repeat it over to yourself and notice what comes up for you. So on this beautiful theme of cultivating inner peace and receiving guidance, trusting the flow of life, our first affirmation is all is well in my world and I am safe. All is well in my world and I am safe. All is well in my world and I am safe. And push to lift your hips up. And we're gonna stay on the block, but let's all put it on its lowest height. So lowest level of the block, you're gonna draw your right knee in towards your belly and extend your left leg straight. So this is almost like a low lunge, but doing it reclined. You should feel a nice opening through the front of your left thigh and a little bit in the inside of that right leg through the inner groin. Just using a little bit of arm strength as you pull that right knee closer while stretching your left leg out further. And our affirmation in this pose is, I let go of the past and move joyfully into the present. I let go of the past and move joyfully into the present. Bend your left knee so the foot can come back to being flat to the ground. Carefully release the right leg. Just notice the difference here from one side to the next. And we'll go to the other side. So this time the left leg draws in towards you. And you can extend and stretch your right leg down out in front of you to the mat. Kind of pushing a little bit into that right heel as you draw the left thigh in closer, stretching through the front of your right leg this time. And on this side, we repeat, my inner self always knows what to do. My inner self always knows what to do. My inner self always knows what to do. And simply observe how this affirmation is received. Bend your extended right leg, release the pose, feet flat to the ground. We're going to push into the heels to lift the pelvis up, and you can slide your block out to the side, coming back down. We'll make our way into a wide-legged child's pose. So you can roll to one side, use your arms to help yourself come up. So child's pose, you'll want to have your big toes together. Knees as wide as you would like them to go. Reach your hips back towards your heels. Finding some stillness here and folding forward. Relax your belly, relax your chest. If there's any pain in your low back, bring your knees closer together. And once you settle in this pose, our affirmation is, I trust that my life is unfolding exactly as it should. I trust that my life is unfolding exactly as it should. Push into your arms. Begin to lift your way up. And you don't need to come all the way up. We're just going to slide onto our bellies on our forearms for Sphinx Pose. Pointing your toes back behind you, lifting up through your heart and draw your shoulders back. So you're really opening through the front of the chest here. And you can widen your feet a little bit more. And we'll repeat, I feel deeply connected to my own spirit. I feel deeply connected to my own spirit. let your chest melt down to the floor. Slide your hands in. We're going to push up onto hands and knees. Making our way to Swan Pose or Pigeon Pose next. So you can bring your right knee behind your right wrist and extend your left leg out, maybe using your block and placing it underneath the glutes if necessary, just to square off the pelvis. Just get some feel-good feelings here through the hips. And you can either choose to stay up in Pigeon Pose or Swan Pose. There's a lot going on in this one. Or you might want to walk your hands forward and fold down, maybe patting your forehead with the block or with your hands. And as you settle into this pose physically, let's tap in energetically and emotionally. I am willing to be at peace with myself and others. I am willing to be at peace with myself and others. I am willing to be at peace with myself and others. Begin to push and make your way up. And before we go to Swan Pose again, just stretch out your right leg, making any kind of movements here that feel good for the hip, just to get the blood flowing again. Setting ourselves up for the second side, the left knee makes its way behind the left wrist. You can stretch your right leg back and square off the pelvis so you're not rolling on one hip, keeping everything steady and squared off and folding down. Our affirmation on this side is, I am aligned with my higher purpose. I am aligned with my higher purpose. Let's lift back up once more. Stretching out the left leg, getting some movement back into your left hip. Just really feeling out the effects of those poses on the lower body. We'll come into reclined butterfly pose. So lowering onto your back, you can bring the soles of your feet together to touch. Knees open up wide. And place the arms wherever they feel the most comfortable, maybe on your belly or beside you. Try to relax the shoulders down into the mat. Relax the legs as much as possible. And let's internally repeat, I release the need to change or control others. I release the need to change or control others. And just notice what this affirmation brings up for you. I release the need to change or control others. You might want to use your hands to help the knees lift back up. And keeping the feet flat to the ground, we're going to make our way into a Lange spinal twist. So you might want to open up your arms kind of like in a little cactus shape. And you can shift your hips over to the right, maybe wrapping your right thigh over the left one before both knees drop down towards the left side of the mat. And reach out through your right arm, try to anchor the shoulder blade down into the floor. Internally repeat, I radiate peace, love, and well-being. I radiate peace, love, and well-being. Engage your belly and lift the knees back up, uncrossing the legs. And we'll ease to the other side. This time your hips can move a little bit over to the left, maybe crossing your left leg before dropping the knees over to the right. Keeping those arms out and drawing the left shoulder blade down to the mat. Our final affirmation on this theme of inner peace and guidance is every breath I take brings me more tranquility. every breath I take brings me more tranquility. Lifting the knees back up, we'll come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. So go ahead and stretch out your legs, stretch out your arms. No affirmations in Shavasana. This is simply your opportunity to process the work that you've done, physically as well as energetically and emotionally. Just allow yourself to receive. Deepen your breath. Move fingers and toes or turn your head a little, rolling ankles and wrists. You can stretch out, arms overhead. And we'll roll to one side, come up and take a seat. Close your eyes once you're there. And join your palms together at the front of your heart. Feel the effects of your practice. And we'll close this class with the chant of Om one time. Inhale to chant. Big breath in. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this practice with me. I would love to know what you thought and how this went for you. Please do leave me a comment down below. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. It's a great way to support free yoga on the internet. And like I mentioned in the beginning, if you really love pairing yin yoga with affirmations, I highly recommend the new series that I'll have out. It'll be released June 1st, 2019 on my app. So you can go ahead and download that. The link is in the bio. My app has a free 7-day trial. You'll find all my YouTube classes as well as new programs that come out every month that you cannot find on YouTube. An in-app calendar, no ads. You can watch without Wi-Fi, just lots of good stuff. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much. Namaste.